Good morning and a happy Sunday. The time now is 7:16, and right away we want to start with the latest on Invest 91L, which we're watching closely because it could become named within the next 24 hours and likely will. Over the last 24 hours, we've seen a pretty significant increase in development potential. So you'll notice on the live radar picture at the moment, this system is still spinning. It's not super well organized by any means, but the National Hurricane Center has upped the development potential to 80% over the next 2 and 7 days, and the hurricane hunters will fly into this system a little bit later this afternoon. So right now, the winds are not super strong, but they are around 35 miles an hour, which is not far off of a tropical depression's classification. The next name on the list is Bertha, and the big question is going to be whether this continues to remain in the Gulf and has a little bit more time to develop and strengthen, or if it continues to track further north and moves over land more quickly. The overall takeaway is that, number one, this is not a super favorable environment for strong development. So we've got dry air and wind shear that's going to help to rip the storm apart. But number two, there are multiple scenarios possible, and the timing for impacts to land look to be somewhere Tuesday into Wednesday. So probably late Tuesday night into early Wednesday. Again, it just depends on whether this moves a little bit further north and then makes it to land sooner or continues to jog west a little bit closer to our area. So you'll notice the satellite and radar picture is showing that spin clearly, and you're not seeing a ton of areas impacted by rainfall totals just yet, but Fort Myers and Tampa have been dealing with these rainfall amounts over the course of the last 24 hours. It looks like this system is certainly going to bring a little bit of rain to parts of the Gulf Coast. And right now the forecast is probably somewhere between about 2 and 4 inches in most spots. Where it starts to move inland, maybe closer to 6. So what is going to drive the direction of the storm? Well, we're dealing with a lot of heat and humidity right now because we're under this dominant ridge of high pressure across southeast Louisiana. And that's going to remain in place certainly today and tomorrow. But you'll notice it starts to back away a little bit as we get into late tomorrow and early Tuesday. So the question is, does it back away long enough for this little disturbance to move our direction in the midst before it moves back in again, which it will start to replace itself essentially by the middle of the week. So that's what we're going to be watching as our steering pattern, and everything will become more clear as time goes on. So just stay tuned. Certainly this is not going to be something you would need to evacuate for by any means. So we're just going to stay put, watch it carefully, and then take our precautions as everything becomes more clear. Hot and humid nonetheless as we look to the rest of today. If you have any plans for the game this afternoon, make sure that you are keeping up with the hydration and getting indoors in the AC whenever possible. Another heat advisory issued from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We've got blue skies and sunshine out there right now. Just like yesterday, both sides of the lake included in this heat advisory. It could feel like anywhere from 108 to 112, especially on the North Shore. We experienced this yesterday, so same thing once more. Our UV index will be extremely high as well, like we dealt with yesterday too. So you could get a quick sunburn. If you do have any plans to be outdoors in the water, make sure that you are taking these precautions. Remember, if you don't start to feel well, it's probably going to be because of the heat. So I want to show you the precision cast as we get into the next couple of days, because some of our models have been showing a clear circulation as we move towards Tuesday. Here's Sunday. Likely all the rain stays a little bit further east. As we get into Monday, still mostly dry, but a few more showers possibly across the area into the afternoon. Those would be daytime heating driven. But watch as we get towards Tuesday. Here comes some outer bands perhaps. Again, this is just one potential scenario, but you could end up with a lot of that weather offshore, and we could just be dealing with some of these leading western edges of the storm. So the good news is, unlike Arthur, we're probably going to be on the western side of this system, which is not usually the side that sees as many impacts, but certainly we've got that heightened tropical moisture and the possibility for rain chances to increase. So we bumped them up to about 40% for Tuesday and Wednesday as of now. This is going to change, and we'll keep you posted as it gets closer. Here's the 7-day forecast. At the moment, no weather impact alerts, but again, that may change depending on the direction and formation of this Gulf system.